Welcome back, everyone. We have a very special guest. Magnus Carlsen is here with us in the studio. Magnus, you played a very nice, very convincing game. Please tell us, how do you feel?
Yeah, I'm not sure it was that convincing, but it was interesting. It was interesting enough. I found that the starting position, I cannot tell you whether we've had it before or not, but it looked very similar to something like I've kind of seen several times. Yeah, there are several themes that we saw in this game that's kind of very familiar. So first of all, already the first move, I don't think it's very good.
You know, it was very funny that there was one, and I'm curious about your impression, that there was one move which was played by two players, Nihal and Duda. It was d3, the small little d3, which you also did with g6, d6. Can you please share your thoughts, what you think of this?
Yeah, so the thing about in freestyle is that specifically these bishops on e1, d1.
Here you see the graphics that which moves were played in.
Oh, yeah. These bishops that are specifically on d1 and in e1 are usually very, very bad pieces. They are very much in the way. And so the engine often suggests just spending two moves doing this. Also, it opens up for the queen. I thought what Jan did with d4 was very interesting as well, with the point of going g6, d5.
Yes, did you see it before? Because it was a total shock for us. With
Alex. I thought about it. I just thought, well, let's deal with it if it happens. Yeah.
So you would have played g6 after
no,
d5?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Okay.
I was kind of more expecting c4, g3, those kinds of moves, and I thought, well, d4, there's no way that white is winning after g6, d5. So we'll try and find a way to deal with it. But it did look interesting enough. I will say though that c4, I think it's very often in these positions it is just the wrong plan to do this, and it's often better to go for d3, e4. At least, what I would say is there's no reason to play c4 yet. Like, black is not going to prevent it. So it's better to make a move like d3 or g3 that you kind of have to if you're going to play a more kind of system-based approach, or to think about playing d4 if you want to go for it.
So basically keeping flexibility.
Yeah, exactly. And so I saw that Vincent played e5, and I was kind of, after I'd played g6, I was kind of envious of that, because I always like to see what Vincent is doing, because he's really, really good at this. And the idea of just simply going in e5, knight e6, castling and so on, and just waiting to do, especially after white has committed to playing g3 and not going for some g4 stuff, then that's very enticing as well. I will just go through like this mode. I thought
this was very smart.
Yeah, I thought it's obviously it's a bit counterintuitive to just waste the tempo in the opening, but it seemed to me that this is going to be a fairly slow.
And I have to ask one thing, because after bishop c6, I fell into panic. And I finally suggested that, okay, out of total desperation, maybe I will play f3. And we showed it to the computer, and it was kind of the best move.
Yeah.
Did you consider f3?
Yeah, I thought about f3, and then, I don't know, I will play bishop d7.
Yeah, and the slow game.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, black is not, like, I'm not saying that black is better here. I'm just saying that, white has lost any hope of having an advantage. Okay, so this already... c5 I thought was a nice move, just ignoring everything that's going on here. And queen h6 at first I thought it's an unnecessary move, but it's actually kind of smart to just rule out the king going over here at any time. Okay, these are all like fairly normal moves. And this was an interesting moment, because I wouldn't say worried, but this is kind of what was on my mind the most. Like, what if she castles? I think things can get like really out of hand very quickly. For me, for instance, here there's the move rook f1, I think, and then she's preparing some exchange sacks, and who knows. And I can play more slowly, trying to play queen g7, e6, and so on. But here there is kind of more of an imbalance. Yeah. So the way she played, now like this is nothing special, of course, but now I'm slightly better. Not much, of course. Yeah. F4 was also, I think, not perfect. I think she should start exchanging knights immediately. And like I remember you used to play these Sveshnikov e5 setups where it looks like white is better, and then you start exchanging stuff and it's just dead equal. And you, so like she hasn't done anything wrong here at all. b3, this is also an unnecessary move. And now after b4, like she has actual reasons to be a little bit worried. So knight e2, I go here, and I'm pushing a5. If she goes a3 at any point, I'll probably just take it, a5, and also f4 is a bit of a weakness. I think f5 is never really a move. And so she goes for the really, really ugly knight a4 instead, which is probably the best move. But ever since Seville and Kasparov-Karpov, people don't want to do this. They just remember, things opening up on the king side in 30 moves, and the knight is out of play.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Anyway, these were all like relatively normal moves. I was happy with this plan, but here this was very silly. I should just go f5, knight g8.
And why you didn't go f5?
I started thinking about e5 stuff, and I wasn't like 100% sure about it. But I can, like, for instance, I can do this, and queen a7 is really, really nice.
No, the reason why I was asking that, first I was also saying like f5, but then we realized that after f5 there's this knight b2 heading to g5 potentially.
Yeah, but I get the knight to g4 first.
Yes, but then we were saying that no way Magnus will let that happen, and he will play knight g8, knight a6. Then you played. We thought, of course, you are right.
No, but the thing is, I was trying to tempt her into playing g4 because I thought I'm playing f5 and I'm much better. But then of course, I realized that too late that f5 knight g4 works, and now we have a completely new game on our hands. Like, I see that the engine still says that I'm better, but I didn't really understand it.
No, okay, because this knight e7 kills what you played. Yeah, knight e7 just wins for you, as in the game.
This?
Yeah, like you played knight g4, knight e7, and it's just very bad.
No. Oh, really?
Yes.
What does the...
That's why we called it like it was a strategical masterpiece.
No, but I wasn't so sure. I was worried about this. Knight h2, and like I understand that I'm better, but I thought like e5 is coming.
So there is
basically
some complication.
Like, okay, there's probably some concrete reason that I win, and I'm like considering this knight and so on. I'm not shocked, but it goes from like being very comfortable to here things can go wrong. So probably objectively I didn't do anything wrong, but still it felt a bit uneasy. And here I think, knight her problem is knight f2, king g8. This runs into this, and then once she puts the knight on e3, like it's a horrible, horrible square. And now it's just over. I mean, she can try to bring the knight around, but the knight is not better there, and e5 is not a thing. And then I just win automatically.
Yeah, we had this impression, please tell us, is it true or not, that during the game you felt like that you want to win by hand, and then when this g4, h5, knight takes g4 happened, then you were a little bit unhappy with yourself that now you have to calculate, and it's morning game, I don't want to rely on my class.
Yeah, I guess it was like 25 moves plus without exchanging pawns. And you kind of want it to be the way that you want to, once I make the first pawn move with f5 at some point, then everything is prepared and the game is over. So, of course, she's a very good player. Like, I've seen her beat like very strong grandmasters, and it's never as easy as you think. That's the main takeaway.
She's also world number 120 girls.
Okay. I didn't know that, but I've seen some of her games, and she's really good. So I'm not surprised that she put up a good fight. But yeah, a position like this, there's no amount of fight. It's just too many positional weaknesses.
And about your yesterday's game, one question. After the game finished, both of you were highlighting this rook d5, rook d8 like 3 times. That did any of you forgot that, or did she forget that she could castle?
Yeah, she was literally asking me about that. She was calculating castles, but she decided not to go for it. And yeah, I explained the rook has moved.
Because we got tricked with Alex. I was also saying that, okay, bishop e7, bishop, finally, okay, just one move away from castles and it's a game. But it was not possible.
No, this is true that I noticed this like very early after she'd taken on d5, d8. And I'm thinking, like, of course, when you're playing freestyle, you're always thinking like, okay, am I going to be hit with an unexpected castle? And I'm like, no, rook on d8. First of all, rook on d8 is great for me because it blocks the other rook from coming to d8 and castling. And yeah, I knew that she could not castle. And yeah, of course, like I blundered several things yesterday, of course, as well. So that wasn't great. But I think also like the takeaway from those two first rounds is that if you make a lot of good positional moves, you can sometimes afford to miss like some little tactic and not be worse, even in freestyle, surprisingly.
Yes, so I don't know, because you have a very busy schedule, you have a second game. We very much appreciate that you joined us, you explained all this in details. Thank you very much, Magnus, and the best of luck. So far you are 11 out of 11
in
freestyle in Karlsruhe.
I know.
Keep on going.
Yeah, thank you.